Jesus tells us today in the readings that anger toward other brothers gets us into trouble with God, as does insulting other people or threatening to stamp them out. He reminds us of this after he recites the commandment, "You shall not kill." In this message, he's telling us that these behaviors are accelerations to hostilities that often result in killing. Rather than escalate tensions, we need to de escalate them by reconciling ourselves to our brother as soon as we experience differences. Jesus tells us today that just because we do not go so far as to kill someone, we are guilty before God if we set the conditions into motion. I am taking this passage today because a few weeks ago I had heard the same lesson at a Memorial Day commemoration for fallen soldiers. In a tiny town of just about 1,300 people, it takes a long time to read the names of those beginning with the War of 1812 and the Civil War and continuing through every generation into the present one. All of us know someone who could be on that list. I'm reflecting here that Jesus is much more than an anti war activist or a pacifist role model. He's a good teacher who tells us how to avoid that suffering. He's not admonishing us so much for our wrongdoings as he's looking out for our best interests. Drawing on the words of Jesus reminds us that all those fallen heroes were fighting in wars that began with anger, insult, and threats that could have and should have been resolved before they lost all those men and women. I'm not passing judgment on anybody here. Neither was he. His message was not a moralistic attempt to rewrite history. It's a message of hope for the future straight out of the words of Jesus. We need to stop and think every time we speak against others in anger, when we insult them, and when we threaten them. We are escalating tensions that could lead toward killing. And for that, we are liable to judgment before God. We are reminded that we need to check those impulses and instead find ways to reconcile with others, or we can get hurt in the process. Jesus makes that quite clear. Amen, he says. Amen. To which I say, Amen.